Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that played them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we are going to be covering Hasbro's Fan First Friday, which is all about the pink, that happened on June 11th of 2001. Jesus Christ. 2021. Jesus Christ, this thing happened 20 years ago.
We weren't even that old yet to be doing
First
a show.
of all, wow.
Right?
If we were to actually be covering something that happened in 2001, it's like, well, why the hell are you waiting so long?
Right? Exactly. What are you here for?
What are you here for? And then we're also going to be talking about the other half of the show, Panic. But before we start, I would just like to remind everybody, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please, go ahead and hit that little, those 5 stars, because, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. And it would definitely support the podcast. It'll help us grow, and it'll also help us, get further recognition, if you will. And it'll help people find us easier. So it'll be great if you guys just go ahead and do that. And if you're also listening on YouTube, you can definitely comment in the comment section, and we'll definitely read the comments on the show. But I don't think we have any comments, so we don't have to worry about that this time around. So we're just going to go right into the Fan First Friday, all about the pink. So Fan First Friday was very interesting because it was, first of all, I wasn't expecting them to do all this pink stuff. I
was not expecting that either. I don't even know how I feel about it.
That's my thing. I don't know how to feel about it either, Lena. It's weird because to me, I'm like, yes, pink is, a very popular Ranger color, but
right? I mean, guys, I'm all about the Pink Rangers. I love Pink Rangers. I love me some pink any day, all day, but this is really weird. And I really don't know how I feel about it. And then I think furthermore, they just really genuinely just highlighted Mighty Morphin. And that was it. And and Mighty Morphin and Cap. That was all we got.
So I guess they're making up for the lack of female figures.
But
no. Let me finish. But the fact that they gave us 2 more Mighty Morphin pinks is kind of ridiculous. We really need an MMPR pink that is colored like a comic book? Do we really need that? Well, then the Cat 2-pack. The Cat 2-pack is, I think, is pretty cool, though. I think it would have been better if maybe they would have done Zeo Cat and Turbo Cat. At least we wouldn't have got another MMPR one. And if you had to do MMPR, you could have done the movie or like the Ninjetti. That would have been cool.
I just think overall, if you want to go with the whole we want to make it for the fact that we don't have a lot of girls, I'm sorry, there's a shit ton of girls to choose from. A shit ton. Mm-hmm. We have still yet to have a Tori, Akira. So this does not explain anything. I don't know why we keep getting MMPR. I don't know why we keep getting pink. And I don't know why this time around we're highlighting Catherine. It's great she finally got a Zeo character, but Catherine already has a character. She already has a Lightning collection. She doesn't need another one right now. There's so many more we can focus on right now to get more representation.
I guess Cat getting more love, I guess, is maybe because Kimberly usually gets all the love with when it comes to MMPR Pink. But at the same time, like you said, there's other female Rangers that they could have chosen. And also, if you wanted to go with a pink theme, there's so many other awesome pinks to choose from. They had Kendrick's,
Right?
and Cassie, which
Cassie,
like they were showing when they showed off, or before they showed off the new figures, they showed a clip of what is it, to the 10th power, or no,
Hmm?
not that one, Power Pink or something like
Power,
that, in
Power
Lost
Pink, yeah,
Galaxy.
that episode where Kendrick dies. Yeah.
When Kendrick's made the sacrifice for Cassie, and like you thought that it was going to be one of them, or maybe like a 2-pack for Kendrick's and Cassie, but nope. That was a like, why the hell would you even show that?
Yeah, that was like
I
the
didn't
biggest swerve
understand
of the
that.
century. It was
I
just
didn't
like,
understand
what
that.
was the point of that? And that also brings me to the point of just like Lena was saying, as far as like the choices that they made. Obviously, this is all about money, and this is all about MMPR representation and all that good stuff. That's their bread and butter. So we kind of already know that this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be given. But also at the same time, I do kind of feel like, to kind of even out the balance and kind of balance everything, I do kind of wish they would have given us someone else outside of MMPR. Just at least one figure. Like if they would have given us like a Cassie figure, like an in-space Cassie figure, or something like that, just to kind of take away, just so it wouldn't be completely MMPR. Because I'm sorry, that, like you said, that cell shaded Pink Ranger toy, who asked for that? Nobody. Like
Unnecessary.
it was extremely unnecessary, and it's stupid. Like, how many cell shaded, what, who even thought that would even be like, who thought that would be cute? Who thought that would be a good idea? Like, oh yeah, let's bring a cell shaded toy. Really?
Do you think it's a way to get people to notice that there's comics?
You know what?
That's a reach. I feel like that's a reach.
Okay, even if they did do that, they didn't need like the extra MMPR. They could have just chose one of them.
And not only that, but also too, I also kind of feel like even if they did that, they could have went ahead, if it was supposed to be a comic thing, they could have given us the comic head Kimberly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they could have given us a toy version of Kimberly from the comics, from Go-Go, or from any of them. You know what I'm saying? They could have done something.
But
to
elaborate on that even further, they had Lord Dragon, that's from the comics, and they had the Pink Slayer. So I'm just saying, if they're trying to introduce the fact that there are comic series, they've already done that.
Good point.
Very true. That is very true. And also too, they had the Red Sentry guy too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this whole cell shaded one is just it's pointless. It was just, I feel like it was something that they thought of on the fly and was like, "Ooh, let's see if people like that." And it's funny because I seen somebody do a poll of it. I want to say it was not Ranger, it was Morphin Legacy. I want to say he did a poll of it and was like doing a poll of like, which ones would you buy, like that kind of thing. And pretty much everybody was interested in buying all the other ones except for this one. Like it was largely like a huge, like, it was a huge number of people who were like, I don't want to buy this because it's stupid. It's dumb. It is the stupidest toy.
So out of left field to do that, and it's just not freaking necessary. You didn't even give her a head, a civilian head.
Exactly.
Which is maybe that would have been a way for us to get a Kimberly head that actually looks like Amy Jo and not that scary clown lady.
Hell, even an Amy Jo with a different hairstyle, because they could have done season 3 Amy. Because to be truthfully honest, Kimberly's hair was way lighter in season 3. Like they almost kind of made her into like a reddish brown or something like that. Like her hair was dyed at that point. So they could have had her hair a little bit lighter. They could have given her a new face, something. But we're always going to have man-eating clown Kimberly for the rest of our lives. So, but how do y'all feel about this Morpha though?
Oh my God, I'm here for the Morpher. That is gorgeous. I need that in my life. Like, yesterday? It's pink.
I
So
don't.
that was a stupid question for me.
Right. I wonder. I wonder if they're gonna do more, like, because that's obviously from the movie. So I wonder if they'll do the other 5. In a sense, I can't really see them doing that because it seems like it's a lot, like a lot of product to make that may not sell. So like, it seems like that would be it seems like a waste to me, honestly. I don't like it. I don't think it was necessary. Something else unnecessary.
I don't blame you because, and also too, someone else did this toy already. Like actually, a fan
Right.
did this toy before. Like when they were
Oh.
remaking, like they were remodeling things, and they all kind of made them kind of like the movie toys, but they changed the inside of the grid thing where the coin is, and they made them the same color as each ranger. Like this toy is a splitting replica of what someone else already did. Like I just find that so funny. I'm like, when I was looking at it, I'm like, someone did this already. I'm like, someone already made this. I like it because it's very similar to the movie. So that's the only reason why I like it. But then I'm like, okay, if that's the case and they're trying to make it more like the movie, why didn't they give us the movie coins? Because that would have been great.
That too. Yeah. Why did they give us all of the coins? That's not accurate.
Exactly.
I did like that. I was like, ooh, I don't know, but I just like the fact that it was pink. That was all I care about.
All I want, if they're going to do this, please give us a yellow, because the last one that we had, when they did this same toy with Bandai, they did not give us a black. They did not give us a yellow.
Yeah.
So can we please have, if we're gonna do this, can we please have all the colors, please, so I can buy my yellow one? Thank you.
It's funny how this particular release has just gotten us like, oh, like, it's
yeah, I mean, they're pretty lame. Like this release was it was lame.
It's getting worse and worse with the releases. I'm not as excited as I used to be.
Here's the thing. The only one that made me very excited, I'm not gonna lie to you, I literally gasped and was like, ooh, was Catherine. With the Mighty Morphin and the Zeo. But I promise you, they were 2 different women in that box. Like
I was just don't. That was
yes. I have issues with that because when they released the metallic armor one, I thought I could see a resemblance to Kat. It didn't look exactly like her, so I was hoping that whenever we got another one, it would look more like her. That was not the case. The hair is off. I mean, you can easily just swap the head, but like they put the style that she had in season 3 on the Zeo figure, and then she has this really bad hairstyle that they put on the MMPR one. The metallic armor one, I thought I like that one a lot better. The face sculpt and the hair. The hair was definitely Zeo Cat, so it would make sense to put that on the Zeo one. But I didn't. Those faces and the hair.
So hold space for me, because if you follow this model, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, right? You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I went ahead and sent it to our chat too, so you can follow me. But just hold space for me for a second. So what if the metallic head, right? The metallic head cat was on the Zeo body,
right?
And the Zeo head was on the Mighty Morphin body, and the Mighty Morphin head was on the metallic armor body. Wouldn't that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but they're also really hideous.
Yeah.
The metallic one was the most prettiest one.
Because I mean, okay, so the reason why I say that is because the Zeo head was her hairstyle was in the same style with the ponytail. It's the same one when Kat almost got when she got
turned
put on
evil.
Turned evil with the little machine was Rita and Zed.
Right.
That
Same
scene was
hairstyle.
hilarious.
Right. Talking about some evil, really evil. I'm like,
Right.
it's like, what? So that would have been great. And then the one that is on her Mighty Morphin body would have been perfect for metallic because I mean, that's pretty much predominantly how she wore her hair most of the time. You know what I'm saying? During yeah, because it was straight most of the time during Mighty Morphin. So it then okay, we put that on metallic. And like you said, the metallic armor head, it looks more like Zeo because it had a little curl to it. And that's when, you know, Kat actually wore her hair like that. So it just makes more sense to put that one on the Zeo head. I mean, not Zeo head, the Zeo body. So I'm just like, eh. But also, these look like three different women. So I'm just like, who are all these white women? Only one of them actually look like Catherine Sutherland.
Right? I wonder which photo they use as a reference. Because none of those look like Catherine, except for the metallic one. For me, that was the one that looked the closest to what Catherine looks like.
I mean, the one with the hair hanging down looks more like Cameron Diaz, but I'm not saying anything.
Oh wow.
Maybe that's what happened. Like, someone fell asleep and was like, "Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, we'll do that."
I mean, that's how it feels. It just, oh God, people, like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? And like, I'm sorry, this Mighty Morphin helmet thing.
That was so not necessary. Like, not necessary at all. I forgot that even came out. Not necessary.
I didn't have a problem with it because we have other helmets.
Of course, you don't have a problem with it, Will.
But damn, what does that mean?
I could see people wanting to buy that.
No, so what I mean is like Will's always against like what we say. He's always like, Will's like, yeah, it's fine. We're like, no, it's not.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of true. But at the same time, like I have to agree with Will. It's one of those situations where it's like people would probably definitely want to buy that, you know, because it's like, oh, well, you know, it's pink and plus people might want to cosplay. So it's like, you know, whatever. But
right.
I personally, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't see the purpose, but you know, whatever. Who am I? You know, who am I? Who am I to judge what other people want to buy?
I mean,
my thing is, I don't like it.
I don't like it either. It is definitely.
I wouldn't buy it. I would rather have a like an actual replica, which of course is quite more expensive than that one, but at least it's, you know, like better quality.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always been my problem with the whole helmet thing, because the helmets just don't really do it for me. I don't know. They just don't. They don't. I guess because I'm not really into cosplaying like that. I mean, unless it's like actually wearing like the outfits from the show, which I love doing. So I guess that's my extent of cosplaying. But for the most part, like I just don't see the purpose. Because if you're trying to appeal to like specific people, that's a very specific niche, like a very specific niche of people.
Yep.
So it's like, I just kind of feel like when they start doing these helmets and stuff, it's almost kind of like, unless they're just putting them in their rooms just to kind of like decorate their rooms or something.
But even
that's
then,
a very specific toy.
But even then, I feel like that's such a space consuming like item that you'll have to clean like every other day to make sure it looks sparkly.
Right, like that's not something that you would just sit there, you know, and just be like, oh, this is a thing. Like, yeah, like you would have to like really keep that up. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know either, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, like I've seen people on TikTok, on like, you know, Instagram, on YouTube where they have a whole ass collection. But also I feel like those people are collectors, and on top of all that, they're the cosplayers. We're not really exactly what Brenna's saying. Like, unless you are all of those or none of the or one of those, you're really none of those. And therefore, what are you supposed to do with this?
Right. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's just kind of like, what am I looking at? What am I doing with this?
Yeah. How would you
Yeah.
guys rate this whole like release?
If I had to do it, like 1 through 5,
Yep.
I would give it a 2.
That's fair.
And that's for double the cats.
Uh,
Because I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's fair.
PC is adorable. I had
Oh
to do it.
yeah. I forgot about that. PC
can't
and
believe
then
they
stole
called
the
the cat
show.
PC.
Part Cat.
Part cat.
Huh?
Yeah, they found
PC for
in the
Part
park.
Cat.
No, I know. I still can't believe they called it Park Cat. Like they could have like
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like with the name itself, I was like, oh, that was kind of silly.
Well, I mean, they're teenagers. Well, allegedly teenagers. So it's like,
I mean, they could have called the cat Powder. Powder would have been fine.
Because I'm sorry,
Oh
season
my
3
God.
Power Rangers look good. I'm sorry, season 3, they look like adults. They did not look like teenagers
did not
anymore.
look
I
like
was
teenagers.
like,
They definitely were getting up there in their 20s by then, yeah.
right. I mean, that it was starting to hit that Dawson's Creek type of feel.
Oh
Because
my
I'm telling you,
God.
everybody on Dawson's Creek was
But
like in their
wait,
30s playing 14-year-olds. And I'm like,
yeah,
y'all all look like y'all own mortgages. Like, stop
right.
this.
So, Will, what is your rating?
Yeah, I agree with Brandon. It'd be like a 2. I like the I didn't mention Part Cat earlier. That was cool. And I like that excuse me, they finally gave us a bunch of different variations of the Blade Blaster. That's something that I really appreciated because it bothers me a little bit that everybody has the Blade Blaster in gun form, and that's not accurate to the show. So they gave Cat a folded up one to keep in the holster and the sword version, and we hadn't seen that one at all for any of the figures. So I guess hopefully somebody like starts to 3D print them so we can put them with the figures.
Right.
I mean, for myself, it would be a 1.
That is fair.
It was not exciting at all. And I love pink, but I was not excited for that launch.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, to be honest.
They could have done so much better. Other pinks, Jen, that's a big one. They
What,
could have
right?
done her. Shelby, our first black pink ranger, they
Mhm.
could have done her.
Mm-hmm. And
Cassie.
And Cassie, of course, I said Cassie earlier. Like it would have been
yeah.
perfect.
yeah, he did.
Perfect to do a Cassie and Kendrick's 2-pack.
Yeah.
Or Caron. Caron's another one.
Listen, that is my whole point. That is my point because, like, and this is why I'm so angry about this whole thing, is because, like I said, if they would have just taken out one of these MMPR things, especially the helmet or that cell shaded one, I promise you, what would have been so much better would have been the whatchamacallit, like having like a Cassie figure to complete the in space. Like it could have been any of them, but it's just like, no, we're just gonna just do MMPR. And it's like, come on, guys. Come on.
Right? Oh, like they could have done so much. Like if they wanted to go, you're absolutely right. Pink theme, I was here for it. But they could have done so much more. Like the helmet was not necessary. They could have released any of that at any given time. Or they could have done a poll where they're like, hey, you know what I wish they would do is a poll where they're like, between these characters, who would you want more kind of a thing and see how the voting goes.
I agree. I think that would be a good idea. It would give the
Yeah,
fans
because
things that they want.
right, because it's like y'all, and then what makes it so cringy is the fact that you have the representatives getting up there and talking, and they're trying to be quirky and funny, and it's like y'all are so quirky and y'all's trying to be so energetic and so perky about stuff that we don't care about. Like,
Right?
it's like,
Today
oh
we
yeah,
got
look at this stuff. And it's like, y'all are gaslighting us because you're showing us clips of
that
things
is
we want, and then you give us stuff we don't want. Like, why are you doing this? This is abuse.
this abuse and
Wow.
toxic. Like, guys, I think we should break up. It's not me.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay. Speaking of toxic,
Oh.
before I get into all this toxic talk, I'm just going to also remind the people, Dino Fury is going to be on Netflix with its extra 3 episodes on June 15th. So, you know, if you want to go ahead and check that out, it is on Netflix, and we'll be having episodes 1 through 11. So check it out, and we will review them next week.
And see, like, that's some exciting news. You know what, Brennan? We should have started with that. We should have hyped the people up with the greater news, the better news, and then bring them down.
That's the most positive thing of the whole episode.
Well, you know, I have to be up and down and extremely toxic as possible, because I mean, that is what this conversation is about today. It's just like toxicity,
Seriously.
and gaslighting. You know, because there's a whole lot of gaslighting that has been happening. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about again. We're going to talk about the other half of Panic that features Cosmin Flores Jr., who plays the character in the show.
Drew Santos. Just want to say before we get into it, is that I'm really sorry that you're gonna have to come back and listen to this for another half of the show. But I just want to say for the record, Will wanted us to do this.
It was only so reason being we got through the first half and it's like, damn.
No, we got
begrudgingly.
The first 3.
Yeah,
the first 3 episodes.
Begrudgingly.
No, we got to 4.
No, we got 3. We got to 3 because we did the
4.
review. No, we did a review on 3 of them.
Oh, well, whatever.
I remember because I was way ahead of you guys.
I thought it was like, all right, so if anybody did enjoy us talking about it, we might as well continue because they didn't want to continue. So I thought like we might as well since we got through that.
I mean, go ahead.
I regret it.
Right, and this is exactly why. So I am one of those people where I just watch a lot of TV series, TV shows, whatever. I'm just that person. So when I finished it, I was like, it's based on what these 2 guys like. It's a no. It was a no. So I was like, you know what?
Based on what I like, I would go for a show like this. It just has to be written better. Actually be a good show. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean though. Like when after I finished it, I was like, they're not gonna like this. Like this was not the greatest.
Yeah.
Not the greatest at all. And I mean, for me, I was happy with the ending for the most part. I was happy with the result of the series. But would that be something I would want to relive? Not necessary. If season 2 was to come, and I will say this is a spoiler alert, but they did leave the show with it being like, if we come back for season 2, there's a season 2. If we don't come back for season 2, for the most part, all the characters wrapped up the storyline pretty decently, right? Like decently, you know, I'm not saying the best, but decently. So if there's season 2, I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, the reason that we wanted to watch this is because Cosme is in it, and he's barely in the damn thing, so it really makes it feel like a waste to have gone through that.
I think
it was a waste.
It was a waste, but you know what though? I am proud of the fact that we did it for Cosmo because like he needed the highlight. He needed his things, you know, and we were here to support it. I mean, for Christ's sake, we sat through musical, what's it called? The prom. we can sit through this for Cosmo.
The
Like,
prom was better than this, though. I thought.
Was it?
I personally enjoyed it better than this crap.
I
I
mean, both of them are middle of the road for me. Like both of them
yeah.
can get hit by a steamy Mack truck, and I would not.
Okay, I mean, for me, Panic was slightly better only because it was not a musical. I'm not a musical person, and I'm not hating on people that are musical people. It's just not me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do have like one movie I genuinely really like. It's called The Showman. I don't know why I always
Yeah,
thought
the Greatest
right,
Showman.
The Greatest Showman. I genuinely really like that one. I think mostly because all the songs are super catchy and the storytelling really moved along with the songs. I think that's why I really like it. Where with the prom, each song was its own segment. And each storytelling was like it was still progressing. Where with the Greatest Showman, the time actually flew. Like story was actually moving along as they're singing. So I think I really thoroughly enjoy that myself. So yeah. So just like so I don't really hate musical like that. I just felt like it could have been done differently, like The Greatest Showman, which I'm in love with. Like I absolutely love it. But no, not the prom for me. But Panic was slightly better. But anyways, getting into it, we left off at episode 3. And now we're here with episode 4 and 5, where they remember when I mentioned to you guys, they would. Okay, do we want to get into the characters? Do we want to get to the characters first, or what do we want to do?
I mean, we can do like I guess a slight rundown for the people who are just kind of like, I don't know what this show is, or who these people are. I mean, I don't think anybody, would care, but hey, let's do it for the people. Let's do it for the
Okay,
people.
okay.
So we have Heather.
Yeah, who's the
who's
main
lead.
character. We called her, what did we call main character last time? Last time we met Heather, we called her main character. So that was her name.
Yes, she's main character.
Yeah. And
the friend Natalie.
we called her the whole friend.
Yeah, the whole friend. Ray the douchebag.
Yeah, still the douchebag.
I can't stand him.
Still the douchebag.
Yeah.
And then the other friend, the other trash friend. What was his name?
Oh my
Bishop.
God. Bishop, yes.
What did we call him? We called him something else too.
Oh, girl, I don't remember. All I know is that
So that is our references to our legend from last time. We got the whole friend, the main character, the douchebag is still there, and then the other dude.
Yeah.
He's not trash. Her friends are just trash. Okay, it just doesn't
all
get
of
any
her
better.
friends are terrible.
It really
They're
does not get
terrible
better.
people.
It really doesn't.
They are terrible people.
So it takes place in a place called Carp, Texas, where it's a small town where they feel like they can't get out of it and things go nowhere because I guess there's obviously because it's a small town, limited of resources, limited of jobs, just limited of everything, right? So every year after everyone graduates, there's a game called Panic where there's a pool of money to be won through a series of events that you perform. Now, it doesn't all happen like in one night or anything like that. It does get broken up to throughout the whole summer. So when a signal is given, it could be like any way. It could be like a text, it could be like a letter, it could be like a package, it could be any form of communication that allows you to know that this is your next challenge. So this year's jackpot was $50,000. It sounds like a lot, but it also really isn't. So the idea of the game is that you do get to say no and not do the challenges. Therefore, you will forfeit the right to compete for the $50,000. However, if you do not say no and you do the challenge, the challenges are not meant to actually kill you. It makes it difficult, but not meant to kill you. However,
wish they would, but whatever.
However, people did die from the games. Again, not because the game actually did that to them. We later on find out. So the death actually all occur because we had a player in the game that no one actually expected. So the game was like at least it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it, you don't mention it, you don't post about it, you don't do anything. And the seniors thought that they were the only ones that knew about the games slash panic. However, the adults now know about it and they're onto them because they need to find out what happened to the two previous kids that died last year. And one of the kids that ended up dying last year happened to be the kid of the sheriffs. And the other kid that died, who was she belonging to? I can't remember now.
Wait,
Eh,
one of
anyway.
them was paralyzed, and then one of them died.
Oh no,
Right?
the one that was paralyzed was from the car accident. Had nothing to do with the game.
And then we're talking about the
Dana,
couple that died. The couple
the
that
couple
died.
that die, yeah, the couple that
Got
Mhm.
you.
died.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
The boy. Well, we want to say what we found out actually happened with him with his Russian roulette game? Oh, okay. So we find out that, of course, in one of the first three episodes, we found out that the young man, he was playing Russian roulette, and the gun that he used actually had a bullet in it.
Which
But
was never meant to actually have a bullet in it.
right,
So
that yeah.
so
Mhm.
that's what we mean when like the whole idea of the game was never to actually hurt anybody. It was just to make you panic, essentially. Hence the name, right? But
Right.
however, somebody swapped it out with a real gun
Right. And we found this out when his mother was about to commit suicide.
because
And
she
the guy
couldn't get over the loss of her son.
exactly. And then when she goes to pull the trigger, nothing happens, and then she realizes that the guns were swapped. And am
Which
I remembering right? Good.
also you are remembering right, but which also kind of confuses me though, because later on she reveals that she finds a note that was in the safe.
That's
And
exactly what I was gonna ask.
right? But then she's like, "Oh, that's why I didn't kill myself." But then I'm like, "Wait, but you literally pulled the trigger. I seen you." And unless the production team like organized those scenes all completely wrong or something, but you're absolutely right. She pulled the trigger first, and that's when she realized that the guns were swapped. I don't think it was like, oh, because I found the note first. So it was just sort of like I was kind of
Ma-
confused there.
You know what? Maybe it was a situation of like she was ready to do it, but then since she pulled the trigger and nothing happened, it like
Gave her an
gave
opportunity.
her a gave her like a second wind of, oh,
Okay.
maybe I shouldn't do this.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
that's fair.
maybe.
I mean, that's fair. I can see that, right? But yeah, I think maybe it's just the way they told it was just seemed very. It just seemed very like like it just seemed off. You know, the way the scenes played
Yeah.
out, it seemed pretty off. Like I feel like had you read the note, why would you not want to just bring justice for your son?
Mhm.
You know, like instead of letting everyone believes he committed suicide, as you know, as it was written, why not actually tell the truth? Or maybe well, we do later on find out that he really did commit suicide. So that
Mhm.
he was the one that swapped the gun out. Ha. Funny enough.
My thing is like, okay, kind of backtracking a little bit, right? This whole thing, first of all, it starts out obviously as like, oh, this girl is trying to, first of all, her motivation for trying to, you know what I'm saying, for trying to play this game in the first place, personally, to me, was not that strong. It just wasn't. It wasn't that strong. It was more so just one of those situations where it was like, oh, I'm poor. I live in a crap town. Oh, I need to compete in this game so I can win money. You want to win 50 grand. Girl, I can tell you right now, I don't know what school you going to, but 50 grand ain't gonna pay for it unless you go into a trade school. And even then, you still gonna have to take out a loan to take care of the rest because all the schools have went up, especially if this is in actual like 2020, 2021. Like school
Mhm.
ain't cheap, sis. So 50 grand ain't gonna help
Mhm.
you. I can tell you that now. You're still gonna have to take out a loan.
Oh, for sure.
Second, secondly, it's like, can I just say, Her friend is a piece of shit. Like, and I'm talking about homegirl. I'm talking about
both of them.
Yeah.
Old girl is a piece of shit. And it's like, sis, first of all, did you really honestly, when they asked you, because there's a part in the show where they actually had to
One of the challenges.
reveal, they actually had this
That was a
challenge where they
fucked up
had to reveal
challenge.
secrets. Not their own secrets, but someone else's.
Yeah, they basically just want information.
Right. And sis incriminated herself. And it's like, when they're asking you these questions and you're just vomiting out information, you really didn't think about anything that you're actually vomiting out? Because it's like, I understand that the game is about sabotage, but you literally screwed over your best friend. Like, this is somebody that you grew up with. Like, y'all have known each other for years, and you felt like 50 grand, even though you come from a well-off family, you felt like 50 grand was enough to throw away your friendship. Like, teenagers are not, sis. Like,
I mean,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Like, not even just that though, too. We later on find out, we're gonna move forward. Just a quick sec. We later on found out she's one of the judges.
Right.
So then I'm like, so you're telling me, further to add on to what you just said, you made some money off your friend because she was getting paid to be a judge. So not only like was she actually not competing, she was not actually competing for 50 grand, but she was getting literally money to be keeping an eye on these guys, to keep track of the game, and to judge who's the winner and who's not. So you're telling me that whatever she was being paid for, because we don't actually know how much she got paid, but obviously for her, she got paid enough that she could move out to LA and live her wildest dreams. But absolutely right, she comes from a rich family, and on top of all of that, she literally got paid to give information on her friend.
Was it worth it, sis? I mean, I just...
I mean, that's how you know that's not a real friend, because she literally got paid to spill all her secrets.
All her business. And it's like, really?
That was just mean. That was just mean.
It wasn't just that it was mean, Will. It was just like, you could tell. It's almost one of those situations where it's like, were you really ever this girl's friend? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it feels like. Because it feels like at some point it was just like, sis just was like, I don't really care about this girl no more.
Yeah. Like, I didn't understand why she was so dead set on, I guess proving her, not proving her wrong, but like it seemed like she was so offended that she like lied to her or didn't tell the truth about something, or she made a certain decision. And it's like, how could you do this? And you come at me like I do things, and look at you doing this. So now I'm gonna betray you. Like, it's really that serious to do all that?
Well, not even just that, but we both, all of us seeing that she went behind Heather's back and made deals with the new boy that she was trying to kiss up on. What was his name? Like Dan?
Dodge or fake Harvey that we were calling him last time.
Or fake Harvey. Yes, we called him fake Harvey last time we spoke about him. So like, here she is, trying to she did get into fake Harvey's pants, and she makes an alliance with him, and she actually ditches her friend at the remember that house at that one of the challenges they did where they had to go to this crazy ass guy's house to steal some stuff from his house.
Oh my god, that was
ditched
ridiculous.
her. She left her. And then it happened again where they both got locked into this closet bathroom situation, and her friend got her out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know she couldn't get her out because she was having a hard time, but like the reason why they were in there to begin with was because she was giving Heather a hard time for hooking up with Ray, the douche.
Now, here's my problem. Here's my problem with that scene. Because I had a huge problem. I had a very huge problem. And I'm not sure if it was like the writing that was doing this, or if it was just like, I don't know, but I had a very huge problem with this. So I'm like, so you mean to tell me that you're hard down trying to get in fake Harvey Dodge's pants, and you all kissing up to him in this little area.
Right.
He drops you like a hot potato because he's like, girl, I'm trying to win. Girl, fuck you.
Right.
And walks away. So you mad, and you see old girl who looked like she just got herself a piece, and you mad because it looked like she just got, you know, her Mr. Miyagi on, wax off, and you mad at her because she might have gotten some and you didn't. Like, it's just like, it's the jealousy for me. It's just like, what are you jealous of? Sis, you have everything. You have, you come from a rich family, like you pretty much set, like pretty much. Like she's pretty much like well off, she's set. So it's like you're jealous of a girl who literally lives in a trailer park.
Not even. She was homeless at one
I
point.
think that.
Well, yeah, who became homeless? Like, I'm just like,
yeah. I think that is more so. Even though she has more than her as far as, you know, like physical things, maybe she's jealous of, I guess, who she is as a person, because she seems like she's a really good person, Heather does, from taking care of her sister to how good of a friend she is to Nat and Bishop. Maybe it's just some, and then she has the bad boy lusting after her.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe she's just jealous of who she is as a person, and it doesn't have anything to do with what she has or doesn't have.
Well, in that case, then what would fix that? You being a better person. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like, I just feel like and this is just for me, I feel like this is a lesson for everybody. Like, especially like if you're like jealous of somebody. Normally jealousy comes from within.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always something that you're 9 times out of 10 lacking and you're jealous of that person of. And normally it doesn't even have to be a physical. Like you said, in this case, it wasn't physical items at all, because the old girl was pretty well off. But she's jealous of this other girl because of who she was, like her personality, what she carried inside of her. That's what she was jealous of. And I'm like, sis, if you're lacking that much on the inside, you need to look from within and not worry about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, it was like since day one, it's like since we met this character, this Natalie character, since we met her, she always kind of came off as like she was jealous, like not really jealous, but she always kind of had like a chip on her shoulder.
She always felt like she needed to be
wrong.
better than Heather. She always wanted. I felt like she always needed to be better. Like she always had to be like number one.
Or noticed. And I mean, we did get a clue of, I guess, this feeling of wanting to be noticed when she had that talk with Dodge, when she was talking about, oh, she had, she always played this game. You know what I'm saying? When she had like these two invisible friends, and they would just play pranks on people and all this stuff like that. And then she was like, when she finally met her friend, that's her best friend, which is the one that she played. That's when she actually felt noticed again. Well, noticed. But my thing is, it's like, if this person meant that much to you, why would you betray her like that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's just it. And that's why, like, the more she spoke to her, the more I believed her less, just because I feel like those are just words coming out of your mouth. Your actions are speaking very differently of how you genuinely feel about this person.
Exactly.
Very differently. I know they say actions are louder than words, and sometimes actions and words are a great combination, but this girl was doing all words and no action.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
When she was outed, when her and Heather were in the room, and Heather saw the video of
the hotel. It was so basically it was downstairs. of a
No,
place
no, no,
where
no, no, no,
Heather was
no, not
staying?
then, not then, not then.
Okay.
When Heather actually saw the video of what Nat had said about
Yeah,
her,
that was
and then
literally
her
yeah.
reaction was to cry, and it's like, yeah, you're not sorry, you're just mad, you're just upset that you got caught.
Yeah,
You
no, no,
said
that
what
Basically.
you said and meant that shit.
right. But that was actually at the hotel that Heather was staying at. It was
Okay,
Natalie's
okay, okay.
individual challenge. So basically what happened was
Right, right,
like
right, right, right,
she
right,
was
right,
given a
right.
ticket to a show, Natalie's show, right? So she thought Natalie was gonna perform, but then Natalie did more than perform. Ah,
Mhm.
she did more than perform. That's when she outed her friend and it was on the screen and she like, yeah, obviously looked like she was gonna cry. But then at the same time, it's like these were words that came out of your mouth. And she didn't actually think that Heather was ever gonna win the challenge either. She had no faith in
Mhm.
her whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
Like whatsoever. She's just like, yeah, Heather's just not weak. She's just weak. She's not strong enough. She can't do it. Like,
She can't finish things.
yeah, she can't finish
Mhm.
things. Like, you know what? Just because somebody doesn't finish things doesn't necessarily mean that is a bad trade.
Well, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a trait that's going to stay a thing. She can. It's very
Very
possible
true.
that she could grow, and she did grow. She did. She got far in this,
She did. She got
and
really
she
far.
ended up. She ended up winning,
She
or
did.
maybe not.
Well,
Did she?
she ended up
Or was
winning.
it?
She ended up winning because so we're gonna like rewind a little bit. So remember how we mentioned earlier that panic is not meant to hurt anybody, at least not like cause
Mhm,
death. So Panic,
mhm,
the game was changed when we had an unknown player in the game. And we later on learned that the unknown player happens to be the sheriff, the father of the boy who committed suicide last year by playing Russian roulette.
mhm.
So that was a
And
grand reveal.
yeah, yeah, and all throughout the season, we saw this guy, the sheriff. He's like trying to get to the bottom of what's going on
Right.
with Panic, and trying to shut it down, basically find out who's responsible. And this whole time,
He
it's
was,
him.
yeah, he
That
was the
was
one.
that was really unexpected.
Yeah, so it was him that somehow got into Panic somehow. So he's the one that's actually been placing bets on who would win and actually been wagering this bet off to other people to pull in as well too. And to top it all off, yeah, he had a gambling problem. But yeah, so essentially, in order for him to win the bets, he actually put a lot of these kids' life in danger. So one of those
Hmm.
challenges include Heather, and Heather's kid sister ended up okay. So I'm gonna rewind a little quick bit. So Heather ended up working for a woman who owns a farm, and on this farm, this lady was like Carol Basket. She had a whole fucking
Exactly.
she was like, she literally looked like Carol Basket too. I'm not kidding you.
I
Like,
literally put that. I literally put that in my notes.
oh my god. So she looked like Carol Basket. Though this woman didn't kill her husband like allegedly Carol Basket did, but nonetheless, she had a whole ass tiger in her backyard, and she has rules. Have to feed it and all that jazz. And she was going away for a couple days, and Heather and her sister now lives on the farm because Heather became homeless due to her mother. That's another story. But
Mhm.
so her and her kid sister now went from the hotel and now lives on this farm with this lady. And this lady, she's Carol Basket, except way nicer. And so one of the challenge was it like a maze that she was supposed to get out of this obstacle, but that was not true. Someone ended up putting her kid sister in the same cage as the tiger.
That was the
Yeah,
fucking nuts.
that
What
was
the hell?
fucking nuts. Like fucking nuts. We later on found out that it was the sheriff that ended up putting the kid in the cage. However, once Heather saved her kid sister and everyone was okay again, um they didn't properly secure the gates like they're supposed to. So the tiger ended up escaping. And at the point, so we're at the point where the next date is Jocelyn. Jaws or Jocelyn? Or Jost. I don't know how to pronounce it. But essentially where it's a game where they drive their vehicles at each other, like directly at each
Oh,
other.
joust.
Joust. Okay. Yeah. And obviously whoever survives will win the jackpot. And unfortunately, at this point, Dodge has been revealed that he is actually one of the players of the game that was meant to win the game because he's actually working for the sheriff because the sheriff had promised him that he'll figure out who killed his sister. Sorry, not killed his sister, who paralyzed his sister. And they all believed it was
Luke.
Ray Hall's. Yeah, Luke. Older Luke, who is the older brother of Ray Hall. So they all believed it was Luke that did it. But it was revealed later on that Luke did not do it because Luke
He was in jail.
was in jail that night. So thank God. Who would have thought that out of all nights, the jail would have saved him, right? But anyhow, right? So he was in jail. So of course, Josh finds out that this sheriff is a fucking liar and a piece of shit. And that was fun. And then, of course, Ray Hall ends up finding out that his brother is actually innocent also. So that was great. So the two of them were actually supposed to be in the finals together. But what ended up happening was that the sheriff was supposed to drive Dodge's car and go against Ray. But then Ray and Dodge were trying to flip for the car. Well, when I say flip, I mean like fight for the car. So technically, so in the end, Josh would have gone against the sheriff, but neither of those guys ended up going against the sheriff, except Heather did. So Heather ended up taking Ray's truck and ended up, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this challenge. I'm gonna go against the sheriff. And the kicker of the whole thing was that at some point during the season, Dodge had Ray's car key. So that way he can plan a bomb in it. So that way it would have blown up during the finals, right? So stupid. Don't ask me why. I don't know why these kids are playing with massive danger.
Where the hell? Where do they get bombs from?
Right? And why
they're in a small town in Texas?
And right, and not even just that. Well, you have to remember this. I mean, okay. So they have bombs. Whatever. They have bombs, and what ended up happening was that Ray figured it out really, really quickly that there was a bomb in his car and somehow was able to pull the bomb off his car and put it back in Dodge's car without like exploding it. But okay, whatever. We didn't realize these kids were that smart, but okay, cool. So now they just realized that Heather took Ray's car and she's at the challenge and a bomb is about to go off, right? So this is crazy. So Heather and this sheriff guy is going at it, but except nobody knows it's actually not Ray and it's not Josh that's going at each other because it's just their car, so they just assume that's them. Out of nowhere, a tiger comes right in the middle of the challenge. Like, really?
Yeah, I was wondering where that damn thing was, but I had a feeling that something like that was going to happen.
Me too, because it was sort of predictable, and yeah, it was just predictable. And then, like, of course, now we have Heather becoming like what, Jane, the tiger whispered or whatever you want to call it. Like, so she's all like, "Oh, Tiger, you and me, we have a connection." So the tiger doesn't attack her. He doesn't do anything to her. He almost kind of like, "Oh, I recognize you. You give me food. I like you." To chasing the sheriff. Chasing the sheriff essentially, and then the sheriff's running off into the wood. Because at this point his car has already blown up, because the bomb finally went off, and he's trying to get away. He's still alive, but everyone thought he died, but he did not, because cockroaches, you can't kill them, they keep coming back.
Wow.
I mean, facts. They always joke, who could survive a nuclear bomb? A cockroach. But anyhow, so he's running through the forest, and out of nowhere, he's got a gun pointed at him. And it's his ex-wife, or it's his wife, who will now become his ex-wife or will become a widower. I don't know. Either or. She points a gun at him and she shoots him. And after she shoots him, Will, please tell the audience what you told me earlier. What did she do?
Oh yeah, like it looked like the end of an antidepressant commercial. She just props that gun up, puts her head against it, smiles, and walks to the car to her new girlfriend and drives off.
Oh, by the
She
way, the
was
new girlfriend
so
was Dodge's,
calm.
right? And by the way, the new girlfriend is Dodge's mom, who was actually screwing the sheriff as well too. Don't forget. But yes,
That's a lot, a lot. Oh God, and Dodger's mom, she was Joe from the Facts of Life. For whoever remembers that show,
uh, I don't,
I
but
knew she
Wow, that
looked
was a deep cut.
right. I knew she looked familiar, but I was like, that's not her. And then I finally IMDb'd her, and that's totally her.
you're too funny. So then, right after he gets shot, he gets eaten by the tiger. And that's the end of the sheriff. And we thought that was the end
Yeah.
of Panic also. But so then Heather obviously ends up winning the jackpot because somehow, even though she wasn't in the game anymore, she was still in the game. I feel like there was
Yeah.
favorism going on, but whatever, that's fine. I'll take it. So we're at the point where we thought Panic has officially ended because, the sheriff is gone. They're done. They're just over it, but it's not over. There's a new clue, and we don't know what's going to happen until next season. If there is a next season.
If there is a next season.
Oh, fun. So, oh yeah. So, Cosmics does make an appearance. He's in the one scene where he's supposed to put Ray, the douchebag, into what are they called?
Oh shoot, I forgot. Yeah, it was it's at the morgue. It's those like pull-out beds that you put the dead bodies. And I do
Yeah,
not know what that's called.
me neither. So it was Ray's individual challenge, and essentially, the longer he can last in there, the more points he gets for his individual challenge. So Cosmic's character Drew had to lock him in there, and that was the last time we ever saw of him.
Well,
No,
no. We saw him in the last challenge, the jousting challenge, when
Yeah, he was there, wasn't he?
yeah,
right,
when
but he
Fake
didn't have like
Harvey, what's his name? What's his name?
Dodge.
Dodge.
Dodge. When he was trying, was it him? No, it wasn't Dodge. It wasn't Dodge. It was Bishop. He was trying to let everybody know that there was a bomb in one of the cars, but Cosme's character, Drew, he and somebody else was holding him back as he's screaming, "There's a bomb! There's a bomb!" And then I think that
Right.
was the last that we saw
I
him.
mean, well, he didn't really have a speaking line until that was his last
Well,
speaking line.
okay.
So I now conclude this with overall, as a show, how would you guys rate this from 1 to 5?
Oh, God, I'd give it a 2. It wasn't very good at all. However, the reason that it doesn't get a 1 is because I have to say those some of those cliffhangers had me wanting to see what's going to happen next. So yeah.
That's fair. What about you, Brendan?
Girl, this thing was a chop. I'm gonna give it a 1. Like it just was not. It was not given Miss Weiss. It just wasn't. Can y'all hold space with me, just for a second? So, while the second part, our second conversation does kind of fit in with Pride because I guess you had the two lesbian lovers, the lesbians. I love.
And they had a gay couple too.
Yeah, they did. Gotta give it up for the gays and the lesbians.
And nobody was ostracizing them or harassing them, which that was lovely.
Yeah, lovely to see. Lovely to see. Lovely to see. Not enough for me to up my score, but lovely.
Yeah,
to
of
see.
course not.
I really didn't like this show. It just it was just one of those things where it just tried so hard to be a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it tried. it tried so hard to be a thing. Like it tried hard to like, ooh, we got to really try to, make you like, ooh, make you gag. Like, oh, what's gonna happen next, girl? Like, that's really what I felt like this show was trying to do. And it just wasn't given. Like, I felt like it got very close. Like it was getting very close to the mark. Like, ooh, almost there. We're almost there. Okay. And then before they actually get to the thing, because to me, they just felt like so many missed opportunities. The whole thing when they embarrassed Natalie in front of everybody, the whole friend, when they embarrassed her in front of everybody at the meeting, that was probably the best part of the entire couple episodes that we watched. Like, for me, it was the reaction for me. Because everybody was sitting there looking at her like, woo. Like, I mean, everybody was gagged. And I'm like, and she just sitting there looking dumb. Which I'm like,
yes, she did.
Yes. I'm like, this is what we love to see. We love to see this. So I'm like, okay. But why did I have to wait, episode 7, episode 8, to finally get something like as monumental as this? Like, I'm just like, y'all, this, no, it's a chop. It was a no for me. And also, going back to the reason why we were watching it for Cosmed, who IMDb said he was in it for 9 episodes. And I'm like...
He was
there.
You just have to watch him very carefully in order to see that he's there.
He was there. Did he do anything?
Right.
No. And that's what kind of makes me mad, because it's like, y'all really gave this dude, like, he's a character, but y'all literally gave him 2 lines. Like, you can count on one hand how many times he said something in this show. You can count on one hand. But he's in it for 9 episodes. So basically, they just had him there as a prop.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, in the times that he actually did get to say something, he acted his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why, I called him the Nakia Burrise. He had the Nakia Burrise effect. Because it's like, dude was acting, but he ain't had nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
AKA Tanya and Turbo. Had nothing to do, but was acting her ass off. And it was just like, I just kind of felt like that's what he was given. And it's just like, y'all could have better utilized him, and hell, even some of the other actors that were there.
Right.
Because it was like a lot of them were just props. Like the main people who really had something to do was the main character, the whole friend, the that Bishop guy, Dodge, and Ray. Those are like the most... You say what?
I said, you said Ray, and I was like, yeah, the douchebag.
Yeah, those were the only people who were like the most important. But it's like, you have other characters that could have at least said lines, at least. But they didn't say or do anything important. So it's just like, this show, one problem with this show, it did not do enough world building. They concentrated on like a few people's stories, a few of the character stories, and they talked about the game.
Yeah.
That was really about it. But as far as world building is concerned, this show did not have any of it in at all. Like, it was just, this show could happen anywhere. It really could have. It could have happened in LA. It could have happened in New York. It could have happened in Toronto. It could have happened in Philly. It could have happened anywhere. There's nothing specific about anything that happened in this show. And
it's and it was funny because, like, when you watch the trailer and you hear the advertisement for it, it sounds like it's going to be one of those thriller TV series, but it's not. It's
not.
It's
really not.
Exact opposite. It's almost like feel good coming to life, like Dawson Creek kind of shit.
But just add like a game to it. Like,
exactly.
That's really what it feels like. And you hit the nail right on the head. And that's exactly what it feels like. And to be honest, if the kids would have been dying, that would have made it a lot more interesting.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Take it
thought
that
was
step
going to
further.
happen. I
Yep.
really
Take it that
thought that
step
was going to
further.
happen.
Oh,
Kill them.
I was gonna say, wait, did you give a rating yet, Brennan? Sorry.
Oh no, I did not. Oh, it's
Oh,
one.
oh, it's the one. Okay. I know the reason why I'm asking is because I was gonna ask next, what would you rate Cosmo's acting or character, all of it as a whole?
Well, I don't think you answered, but I'm gonna give it. I mean, I thought we were gonna see more. Thought we would, but we didn't. I'm gonna have to go with. I don't want to give him low. I don't, because he did his thing. I'm gonna give him a 3. I'm gonna give him a 3. Middle of the road.
Okay,
Not because he was bad. Not because he was bad at all. But because we just didn't get anything from him.
Yeah, I think that's too high. I'm going to do a 2. And it's basically because, like, I don't think it's fair to give him a 1, because what he did, there was nothing wrong with what he did when he was able to do something, but he just didn't do much. And that was disappointing, because that was the reason why we all watched this. We watched it for him to see what he was going to do, but it was such a small role.
I mean,
And it didn't like he wasn't necessarily needed,
no, he really wasn't. He really wasn't.
Yeah, but I hope, whatever he's in next, he has more to do, for sure, because he's
for
a
sure.
talented actor.
I think for me as a whole, okay, so for the TV series wise, I want to give it a 3. I enjoyed it enough that I was like, you know what? I think I'll give it a 3 in the sense of, like, they did keep my interest, and I think the reason why I was interested is because I was really interested to see what was going to happen next. And of course, at the end of it, they did fail to disappoint. They did disappoint me, so they didn't succeed in terms of, like, fulfilling with what they gaslighted me essentially. They act like they're going to give me what I wanted and then didn't. So that wasn't cool. But so I'll give it a 3, that it kept my interest long enough for me to finish the entire series. Cosmo's character, I'm gonna give him a 3, because in the scenes, exactly like what you said, the scenes that he was there for and the scenes that he did have a line for, even the ones he didn't even speak in, he made me laugh. I thoroughly enjoy when he was on screen, and I thoroughly enjoy when he was part of it. So I'm gonna give him a 3. So I think for me overall, it'll be a 3. Would I recommend it? Like, as a series, not really. Did I sit through it? Yes.
Me either. I mean, like, if you don't mind wasting 9 hours of your life, you just want something to watch, maybe. But I wouldn't. Nah, this is a must see at all.
Yeah. Again, if you want to watch to support Cosmo, of course, do it.
Yeah.
All for it. Yes. But
right, and I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like, it's not that, and like we said, it's not that he's bad, because he's not bad at all. It's just the show is bad. So if the show is better, could have rose up to the chat. It just wasn't given. It wasn't. No. And I'm sorry. And also too, and this is no fault of the actor at all.
Nope.
No fault to him.
Not at all.
But the dude who played Bishop, he has a very punchable face. So it makes sense why he was casted.
You know what?
A lot of them had punchable faces, because Ray does too.
Ray does too, but if you look at, like, their profile before, like, they're actually decent looking beings. I think the show made them punchable. If that's even like a sentence. The show made them punchable, in my opinion. Because when I looked them up individually, I was like, they're not bad looking, decent people.
They're ugly. No, they're not ugly, but I'm just like...
But in the show, they're definitely punchable. And I think also what it is because their personality, their character's personality is really not the greatest. So therefore, the punchable factor is definitely there.
Definitely hyped it up, for sure.
Yeah.
guys, that concludes another episode. Like I said earlier, we will review Dino Fury next week. So be on the lookout for that. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.